Alright, hello, welcome everybody. Next stream online here, we got some Illuvium Arena cooked up for us today. We do have a brand new season here ahead of us, as we did just have the ranked reset that happened just yesterday, actually. I was able to get my placement matches in, but I haven't gotten much further from that. Of course, at the end of the last season, I did make into the top 15, but I kind of want that spot back. And heck, especially if the talk of rewards are coming back, I want to put myself into a prime position, even if it's not the first and foremost thing on my mind. It is something to play for, and I'm more than happy to spend some time here at the Illuvials, here with the team, and rank up a little bit, regardless if there's rewards or not. Should be live on a couple different platforms. I've been trying a couple different ways of starting the stream here, so bear with me a moment if I just double check and make sure everything's online and running. It looks like all is well. While we played today, of course, there was also... I had gotten the date wrong. The MMO Town Hall was actually yesterday. So I will be discussing that kind of as I'm playing at the same time. And no, like, dedicated direct. So there's, of course, one more Illuvium Town Hall as well. That will be happening, I believe it's either today or tomorrow night. And that's in regards to the risk to earn, as well as the staking features in Illuvium. So something to keep in mind, we will do that, we'll talk about that on Monday's stream. If there's anything extremely urgent and major, I'll hop in on X, possibly, and fire off my thoughts on that, but otherwise we'll keep it until Monday's stream. And let's hop into the swing of things. One thing I noticed is that it seems like I have to reset my Illuvitar every single time I log in now, which is a little bit odd. Whether that actually stays that way in the actual game itself, I'm not 100% sure. But at least in terms of the screen here, it seems like I have to reset it every time. I don't know what changed there to cause that to happen, but it's something. Yeah, so we did have, again, the MMO Town Hall. So a few of the things that they're talking about, of course, that they're aiming for this to be an ARPG experience, right? And while testing hasn't been perfect, it isn't supposed to be. And they're happy with the feedback that they've gotten from the small group of playtesters. There's a handful of us, I think about 50 of us, that have had the opportunity to do the playtest, I know myself included, and having the opportunity to stream it as well. The one time was very, very cool to get a first impression of the Fire Scion kind of playstyle. And they acknowledge a couple of things here. First off, the capture system is looking like it's going to get tweaked a little bit. Being able to just run up, I believe it is hit Q, and then just hit the little slider at the right possible opportunity was maybe not necessarily what they were hoping for. And they're going to be taking a look at that. But there's a few things in regards to how the Web3 aspect and the like on-chain and off-chain will kind of coincide with each other. They did talk about, or Kieran did talk about, rather, that you could capture Illuvials either off or on the chain. If you do end up catching them on-chain, there is a small fee attached to it, which is determined by the current market conditions. 5 of us total in this lobby? Alrighty. It's kind of loud in my ears, bear with me a minute. And then, while the fee is required for on-chain, there is still going to be in-game limitations that make it so that you can't be completely busted just because you have Illuvials of your own. So you can't be a level 1 ranger, for example, and show up with a level 50 rampfire. Like, that's not going to be a thing. Which, honestly, good. That'd be a little broken if you could. And in regards to endgame items, so whether it be endgame items, so I'm thinking like of other titles. So say something along the lines of like a legendary weapon, perhaps. Those are going to be extremely rare. And then the upgrades for them are going to be even rarer. Snuggle up like that, why don't we? Yeah, sorry, so the legendary items will end up being rare, and then the enhancements for them, because there is going to be weapon upgrades, it sounds like, as a part of the crafting table, for example. And with that, they're going to make alluvials a part of the crafting process as well. So if we remember back to the Illuvium playtest, or even how it was in Overworld, a lot of it was kind of focused on just gathering ore, which was a little bit tedious. I mean, it's just a matter of collecting, right? As in, like, any gathering profession in any MMO. But they want to actually tie in alluvials with that as well. So just another way that you can end up burning off alluvials, potentially. Definitely a good thing. Very quickly here, just taking a look and seeing. We have a lot of air here, eh? I want to try water. May not be optimal, but we'll get the job done. Yeah, in fact, with there being a lot of air, I'm actually going against the current, so to speak, but that's alright. Yeah, so alluvials being used in item crafting, burning them to get your upgrades. That is definitely an interesting take on it. I don't mind that in the slightest. It should be cool to see. They then, or Karen then was talking about the classes in Illuvium MMO, how they're kind of behaving right now. They're saying that Scion seems to be in a pretty good spot. I'd argue the Fire Scion is in a very good spot right now. But in terms of fighter, it sounds like they're having a bit of a hard time, it looks like. So based off of what I've been reading in the Discord, it does seem to kind of corroborate what they're saying as well. So they'll be looking to help out the fighter ever so slightly there. And then most importantly, of course, they want to make sure that the alluvials stay the focus of the game. They were referencing Palworld in particular, actually, about how certain game design aspects can make the alluvials kind of feel like an afterthought and not actually be like a huge part of the game, and they don't want that kind of feel here with the Illuvium MMO. So, a little bit of game direction insight there. And then Kieran went on to say as well that their story is probably their best asset, but that's not necessarily something that you can just give away. So, fair enough. I imagine they're going to have to wait until the actual release of that, which then gets into the question, when is the actual release coming out? And I was very, very happy with this answer in particular, where Kieran had said, we are not going to release it until it's good. And I'm very, very thankful for that. I mean, I know it seems like, in theory, that should be a bit of an obvious answer. However, like, we've seen what's happened when the pressure gets on and when people really start to push Illuvium around a little bit in terms of development speeds. We want something now kind of thing. Like Aaron had mentioned, we have these other games that we can ship out, for example, or little updates, say for the arena, kind of keep it fresh in that regards. The risk to earn games, stuff that they could develop quickly and ship out. They don't want the MMO to be shipped out quickly, because I do agree, if the MMO doesn't hit hard immediately, it could be extremely troublesome. Especially since what we've seen with the original Overworld release. So, we won't release it until it's good. I like that idea. Take as much time as you need, as long as you've got the runway for it. And the final thing that was kind of talked about of notes that I have on my notes here is that it mentioned something actually in regards to Illuvium Zero. Illuvium Zero mentioned, I know, surprise, but fusion reactors is apparently something that they're debating on putting into the game, which ties in with the crafting system in the MMO. I didn't get a complete, full, like, proper understanding of it, so to speak, but something along the lines of every time either a certain item or maybe every time a certain crafting activity was taking place in the MMO, people with fusion reactors would get a cut of a fee potentially. Didn't truly get the full understanding of it, but it does sound interesting either way. How we went. Now, I'm not gonna lie, in terms of this actual Illuvium Arena game, I've been basically on autopilot for the first little bit while I was kind of discussing everything in regards to the Town Hall. I'm, of course, completely open to more discussions about it as we go along here, but I wanted to make sure that I got it at least out of the way off the rip here, because I know that's probably going to be the freshest thing on everybody's mind. One thing that did actually surprise me, though, is that the playtest itself is actually ending on Sunday, which threw me for a loop because I thought that the playtest was going to be something that, like, we were just kind of actively testing consistently. But nope, that's not going to be how it is. It'll end up going down on Sunday. They'll do some dev time and it'll probably come back sometime in the future. So I had plans on Monday to do another stream for the playtest, but that won't end up being a thing, unfortunately. But it's a-okay. Good morning, big man. You thought so as well, eh? Yeah, so it's gonna make scheduling for stream for me very, very easy because in terms of Illuvium and streaming, it's either I've figured out some sort of fun activity like a tier list or some sort of discussion-based stream. Otherwise, it's Arena. That's basically all that I can truly do right now, with a little sprinkle in of the Illuvium Zero, I guess, research update. Because otherwise, yeah, there's not a whole heck of a lot for me to worry about as of this moment in terms of Illuvium content, which is not necessarily nerve-wracking. It makes things easy, but let's just say I'm going to be very, very thankful for everybody who's tuning in week after week, day after day, considering the content themselves might not change too much on a daily basis. Now we have ex-Jedi here in my lobby. This is one of the players that has been absolutely crushing up the ladder since the reset. I definitely one I'm probably going to have the hardest amount of time beating on a regular basis here in this game in particular. And it's looking like they're going to end up winning this one. Yeah, they got me on this one. Only other person with a Axon is rectified. What do they have? It's just the one. Okay. We're gonna stick with this weapon. Do we get the one for AoE? Yep, we're gonna absolutely do so. Texan, hello, good morning. We'll gladly accept that. There we go. Might have picked up too many things here. Do something like that and see if we can take out F max and stay on max amount of interest. I think it's kind of a mistake to take it offline, mostly since we don't have the overworld anymore. So it is a very odd spot, right? Like, I get you don't want to have it up there permanently because of probably just ease of development, and it's less pressure in regards to development. However, since overworld's completely gone, we're going to have a completely missing outlet for all the players that aren't arena focused, which is a little unfortunate. Should be about there, I believe, where I can still stay on max interest. Because in theory, right now with Illuvium, as soon as the playtest goes down, and then it's been this way for a while for those that don't even have access to the playtest to begin with, if you wanted to do something in Illuvium right now, you have either Arena or Zero. That is basically it in terms of an actual game. And I refer to an actual game because, at least personally, I don't consider Beyond to be an actual game. That is just a collecting sim. At least for me personally. Of course, it's not knocking anybody who enjoys it. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Can I scoop up that last invoker? Thank you. Here, instead of doing Aegis, do Harbinger instead for now. This isn't optimal, but it's something. I was going to make the comment, is this actually... When I see Pork Lamb, I'm thinking of it being actually Kieran. I was going to say, oh no, that's not actually Kieran. He'd be playing Mud all the time. Then, hang on a second, wait a minute. They do have all the monkeys. It very well could be. We'll see. And then the only way for new alluvials is for players on the market. I mean, that would have been the case either way, even if the playtest was still going. But yeah, that's definitely an alarming thing, because yeah, you have to either get it from Marketplace, or you have to get it from ripping auto drone runs, right? So in terms of actually, you know, playing the game, there's no way to find some more alluvials unless you're just buying one directly off the Marketplace or in the auto drone run. So it's a little bit of an interesting spot that we find ourselves in. All I gotta say is I hope that there's some sort of update for whether it be the arena itself or Barista Earn or something along those lines. There's something, a little bit of an extra spice for some of these other players that maybe aren't arena focused, but if something new comes out for arena, maybe they'll come hop in for a couple of games or something along those lines. Maybe they'll like that, or potentially the Barista Earn game is something different that they could want. Because yeah, we're in a bit of an odd spot where there's not a whole heck of a lot new, per se. Confirming this is Kieran? Alright. Sweet. It's been a long time then since I think I've had the opportunity to play against them. Auto drone runs are shut down, aren't they? I think right now they are because of the migration, but I believe they're coming back once migration is complete, if I recall correctly. I could be wrong, but I believe that's how I understood it. In terms of the game itself, again, I've been kind of on cruise control here. I have My main team basically kind of considers of the following. I have 5 bulwarks of some sort, and then either I go for Invoker or I go for Aegis of some kind. But thankfully, there is a lot of overlap with both of those team compositions for myself. So whichever one happens to be taking off ends up being the one I end up going for. Would love to be able to hit this last Axon. Rectified here, the one bot I believe is holding me up ever so slightly. But I don't wish to lose my maxed out interest. Yeah, just missing, unfortunately. Augments-wise, I'm not exactly the most optimal spot either. My Sepphoris should not have the attack damage based off of max health augment. I should have some more Omega power onto that thing, but the best that I have for the time being. And I could potentially get another Brawling augment, but that wouldn't necessarily help out Sepphoris much either. I should probably look into pushing level 7 sometime soon, even if I don't end up finding the full Axodon, because I'm going to start getting outnumbered. Like, I'm probably going to lose here versus Jedi once again, unless the Sepphoris shot can maybe do some decent damage, but it's not Invoker right now. We will lose that one, it looks like. Okay. Let's get to level 7 in the next round. Or get it on there right here, right now. Let's place you here for now. I know the Squiz is right there, but I'm not convinced that I'm going Invoker yet. Or at least it's not the first thing on my mind, and it's not like it's a contested unit. And the 5 credits is a little much to spend right now. Synergy-wise, another Scion? I think so. Let's help out our dear Sepphoris. Any chance we get Scion weapon? We do. So take away one of my bulwarks, which will be a little bit unfortunate. Let's stick with this for now. Let's get the heal on board. Let's turn our Archelion into a Scion as well. Holostasis for you. Recycle this. Health over to you. Rectify is the one that's holding a lot of these water units against me, right? Okay, let's bring you back. Maybe bring in the Fury. And had I thought about the Fury earlier, I might have actually kept that red augment. A little bit of a mistake there. Jump scare Sinolf coming out here from Rectified. For a rogue chip on a Sinolf. That went directly into the entire team. Interesting. I will say that it is creative, at least. Whether it's actually wise or not is another thing. One thing that's looking positive for me, at least, is that Jedi is absolutely broke. Down to 2 credits already. And then Kieran is still stuck looking for... not stuck. They might have just actually found all of their monkeys, it looks like. So they'll be on the come up in a couple moments, I imagine. Combat rhythm, yes please. Rectified should hopefully get knocked out in this round. Let's just put the extra cred into levels. Throw another tank here for now. And just set ourselves up something like this for now. What's the... Rectified also has Furiox. Does anybody else have Furiox? No, actually. So, an interesting little mix-up we can do here. Where I kind of took both of my teams mash them together, and I'm not doing either one properly. This isn't Aegis, and this isn't Invoker. But I guess just some sort of generic, beefy Harbinger kind of style maybe could work here. Rectified's down, and we have Verdant now on the field here as well. Up against Jedi. There is our dear Axodon. Do something like this here for you. Mammoths will gladly accept those. And this might be an alright setup. Let's give it a shot. I need to find a way to truly get some value here towards my Ranger, though, because currently they're Mud, and Mud is not going to do me any justice. Oh, there might be one way we can do this, though. And we already have Fury. We could try Steam. Yeah, that might be the way to go here. We're having a much better time up against Jedi this time, too. We're actually swarming them big time, even though they're higher level. Again, they did kind of run themselves dry in terms of credits. Meanwhile, I'm still sitting here with maximized economy, so we're doing pretty good. I wanted to try full Colossus, but it's so hard to get. It absolutely is. It's brutal to try and get. But when you do, it's so satisfying. A Ebb potentially could be a pivot. Mammoth again. Now we'll see where we stand here, because in theory, Kieran's team should be absolutely disgusting. Not a bad Exalted Monk here either. While it's lacking on resistances, offensively it's an absolute beast. Got the Exalted Gorilla diving on through, but it did get blocked out. It's kind of shoved in between a lot of my other Alluvials. It's keeping my squishy ones nice and safe. So far, so good. Their Monk gear is kind of trapped up in the top side. But they are tearing through. It is a powerful squad. I think we will end up going down here. A couple more shots from the Sephoris. Actually, it looks like that was a misfire. It didn't even look like the damage came out. So a big miss there, unfortunately. I want to switch 1-for-1 with the tank. Something like that, potentially. I'm not going to sell the Carradue, though, just in case. Scoop this all up. Was it just that? Really? Damn. Okay. Oh, let's turn this into another health augment. Struck. Do that. Sure. Swap it up to something like this. Scarabok, Ebb. That part's good. There's Scarabok, so that's now going to be Granite online. Probably not pushing Aegis. Let's get rid of the one heady. I have not found a dash, like, at all, but at the same time, nobody else is really gathering them. Would absolutely open the door if I could. Sin-Off Beam, for the most part, has been mitigated, which is good. Stun does manage to land onto my Sephoris, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, if I had a dash right now, I would be able to completely shred this team here from Jedi, because there's a big gap between the back line and the front line to where dash could basically be there completely uninterrupted. We might be able to still win this anyway, just off of pure firepower, but I'd argue that I could kill this harder. Okay. There's the one dash, finally. have 6 bulwarks right now, eh? Because my ranger's technically 1. I see. Huh. I'm in the driver's seat in terms of credits. But Kieran is probably in the driver's seat in terms of power, and they do happen to have a Blotto here as well. Which any sort of thought about additional Aegis is going to be blocked out by. Or at least made extremely difficult. Granted, that invulnerability there from the Granite's going to come in quite nicely. Shots fired here from Sepphoris. I'm not going to get an elimination as of yet. My poor little Axodon's getting absolutely shredded. And it's about a similar scenario to the last fight, it looks like. Got completely smoked. Yeah, we're going completely locked up there. So heads up with me and Kieran, eh? Alright. First and foremost, he can't kill me yet. We do have... Let's see. Put a little bit extra here. Get Tsunami on the table. Something along these lines. I feel like I'm still missing out ever so slightly here, because my Fury is still so weak. And I don't have a dash to truly capitalize on Steam. Meanwhile, this is a perfect case scenario here for Kieran. Looks like their Exalted Gorilla just had their way with my Sepphoris as well, so we got absolutely shredded. So we need to make the play right here, right now. There's one Tash. Okay, there's one. Oh, that was a mistake. I don't have enough to actually get there. Yeah, that was a big mistake, actually. Shoot. Yeah, that's bad. Whiffing it up a little bit here in this one. Does have the Caradulux there, and of course, anything that could have gone wrong this game basically did. Absolutely dropping the ball. But one final push here, now that we do have Steam online. Let's see if we can get the job done here. I do have the Rake up in the top right-hand corner for a little bit of extra DPS, but since I don't have a Restorating Impact Reactor, it's just sitting here on the bench. I wasn't fast enough to actually get it. We will get murked one more time. Yeah, if I had the Restorating Impact Reactor on there, it would have made a huge difference. But I'm going to end up essentially throwing the game here to the boss man himself. GG's. Brutal. I tell you what, that game felt about as, unfortunately, autopilot as possible. The team was pretty decent. But I was not thinking very well, my goodness. We're just going to keep belting out games, essentially, here for today. I guess that is one thing to also take notes. I had posted it on X. Unfortunately, I wasn't streaming while it happens. It would have been crazy if it happens while I was streaming. But I did get to the Rampfire, the final piece of biodata that I was looking for to complete my entire biodata collection in Illuvium 0. It is finally complete. So now, it's just an interesting spot. I can turn all the scanners off for the time being. And it's just a matter of collecting some blueprints. We'll try and get some suit and drone combos. Of course, the blueprints themselves don't have a use confirmed yet for the MMO or for what their use will be now that Overworld is gone. But I would love to collect them all anyway. And if something does happen to come around, which makes it useful again, I'll be in prime position. I have nothing else really truly to work for right now in Zero anyway, so it works for me. There we go, I can breathe now. Yay. But it was pretty interesting to get the opportunity to play against Kieran. It's been a long, long time. I didn't realize Pork Lamb 2 was Kieran. I thought just Pork Lamington was Kieran. But they definitely played like Kieran if it wasn't. Full mud? Sounds about right. And no, I wasn't throwing for the boss. Now, don't know what it is here about this Friday, but I do feel like a little bit of an airhead. Not going to lie. But with the playtest being down, I am still just kind of thinking about what to do for the next couple of streams. Of course, I still plan on doing 3 streams a week as long as everything lines up properly. It's going to be a lot of arena, though, if I can't think of anything. Looks like we got Kieran in this lobby again. Who else do we got here with me? We've got Sherlin, and Estes, and I'm Red as well. Okay, now at least in this one, I'm not getting 2 components from Abyssal Basin that I could really care less for. We kind of got the Earth and Empath ones last time, which was a little bit frustrating. While they weren't completely useless, I kind of forced my hand a little bit with direction. The Lynx check. What do we have coming in this time? It's the Earth Fighter. Interesting. I mean, there is a scary part about being known for playing one kind of style, though. That people could absolutely snipe your units. So part of me, if I do see, like, Monk here, for example, or a Gorilla, part of me does kind of want to pick a couple up, but at the same time, they're just the tier 1 units, and even if I were to make, like, a full Exalted Monk here, I think you could make another Exalted Monk here with how many are actually in the pool. So while I'd be making it difficult, it's not like if it was a tier 5 where I'd be making it impossible. Unfortunate here for Sherlin. It looks like the game started before they were actually back to the computer. It doesn't show him as disconnected, but haven't picked anything up yet. The one stackable free shop reroll is quite nice. Especially whether I'm pushing for Lynxes or whether I'm pushing for tier 1s. There's a certain timing there that's quite nice. Let's see what happens this time. Water weapon does go into the hands here of Kieran, so mud is on the table. Aqua Blaster is my friend. I will absolutely pick that one up. Instead of this Earth Empath, let's use this Earth Empath instead. Potentially do something like this for a little bit of additional attack damage. Z88, I believe, is one of the bots, so I feel like we're still in good shape. They're all level 1s, right? Yeah, we're good. It's been interesting, though, seeing since the ranked reset, we have been seeing a couple of players come back that were, I guess, top players in the last little bit. I know Fox Spirit, for example, was right at the top of the leaderboard once again. One of those scenarios that if rewards do end up coming back in one way, shape, or form, they'll be in prime position to capitalize. And I have a somewhat similar mindset, where if they do happen to come back and it's something that I do end up enjoying, then sweet, I'm in a perfect spot for it. Whether that be cosmetics or what, we're in a great spot. Doesn't need to be cash-oriented to make me happy. Up against I'm Red, I believe this is an actual player here. But a lot of their DPS seems to be at level 1, so we should be able to clean them up rather quickly. Early game, nothing too fancy so far, just get a little bit of a front line, and then the DPS here with the Apon buffing the Rangers, kind of the way to go as this moment, until I at least find myself another Scion. Get Harbinger online sometime soon as well. But I'm not as inclined to go for a mass tier 1 kind of play this time. Let's switch that over to potentially a red augment. Set it up like this here, up against Kieran this time. This should make it so that my Lynx has free reign over the little Chuko. Jump here from the Grocko looks good, but of course now we're going to switch direction after the untargetability. Can the stun take out Chuko? Not quite. But the Apon actually switched targets. Beautiful. Nice little early game win. Won't need the baby Atipo, so I'm not going to go any further from there. Fighter length sounds good. Let's do that. Would this be a potential way to go here? Instead of Steam Harp? Honestly, let's give this a shot. I've essentially got the setup for it already here. Normally when you go for some sort of Umber build, it's usually Steam Harbinger based. However, you can absolutely have a pivot to a more Invoker based kind of composition instead if you really wanted to. Something like that. So we have health for you, a little bit more Omega power for you, and then we're almost at maximum income. So we're getting there. What's everybody else doing? Pretty much all the players, with the exception of Sherlin. So good thing I didn't actually stop and look for Totofis, because it looks like Sherlin is loaded up on Totofis with 2 Tiantis currently on their field. So I'm glad I did not spend any credits going for that. That would have been running into a brick wall. Got 2 Archoses on the board as well, and Estes has one. Same thing here with Sherlin. Yeah, so I'm probably just better off leveling up a little bit. Here we go, Harbinger on board. Now that we have level 5, let's move the Fury onto the board. Make sure you're within range of the Apon to get full boost of or full damage boost. Snuggle in here with the Groko. Something like that. The Lynxes are showing up, so I shall accept. We got Caribous coming through as well. That's good. So if this is lining up nicely, as we just completely clean house here on this next fight. Beautiful. Does anybody else? I guess Sherlin has the Lynx as well. They're the only other one with the Lynx. How many do they have? Just 2 more on the bench? That's doable, especially since these rolls are free right now. They're not costing me a damn thing. Fling, I'll accept. Caribou, perfect, thank you. Let's swap you out like this. We don't need Fury, I think, right now. Let's bring in Fling. Turn ourselves into Toxic Harbinger. One more Lynx. Can we find one more? We absolutely can. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to the squad. And then everything else for now can go towards leveling. This is a battle of the 100% currently. Both myself and Anestis have not taken any damage so far. My Lynx is starting to ramp up a little bit, though. Right from center field, we see every single time at Omega as it's getting more attack speed, and look at this fella Chunk. Swinging away on that Archos. It sure took a while, but we did end up getting it in the end. Of course, this is the Lynx I'm running. As you can see, it's not very optimal. Unfortunately, the Relentless Terror Lynx was not one of the Lynxes of mine that are actually very good. But I'm still happy to have it here today. So far, doing a good job. Okay, level up one more time here. We can get another Bulwark online, possibly. Or actually, that wouldn't be much of an impact. So let's just bring in our Fury back in just to get a Scion buff bonus here for our Ranger. Up against Sherlin now. If you were looking for the Lynx, I am sorry, I have one already. You can, of course, have more than one Stage 3 Lynx in a game, but it is annoying to try and get. A little bit of Lynx on Lynx violence here for this one. They did find a Gyro, which is quite nice, but unfortunately Gyro is just so squishy. As soon as my Lynx touches it, it is going to shred. And there you go. Once the Lynx actually gets onto some of these squishier members, even though I don't necessarily have the bonus stats in the right spot here on this Lynx, it still does great damage. A fighter and Chrono Flux, I kind of like that idea. We could do something like that to make you an absolute machine gun. Give this to Fury. Let's put a level in. And add Groko to the field. Like something like that for now. Sherlin did find the Relentless Terror Lynx, so nice little finds there. Yeah, my Lynx will be attacking extremely quickly now. Okay, I've got a composite synergy chip, but I do not want to use it yet. Because if I were to get stuck with Toxic, I mean, sure, but that's not what I'm looking for. What I want is this fella here that we did just pick up. So I want to get leveled up. I found the 2 fire types that I could possibly use in this composition as well, which is nice. We combine and get the energy-based one. Not... Oh, it's the other energy-based one. Not the one I was expecting, but I mean, we'll take it. Take that recycle. You won't need a TPO. That part's fine. And I think we're actually sitting pretty good right now. Got the one dash on board. Is there any other dashes at all in the game? Just the one lone dash, but it's not even evolved either. And then Wrecking, okay, has one as well, but it's all just the babies. Nobody's evolved their rake or a number or anything along those lines. Of course, still very early for that to happen, but it's not a thing. Which means me leveling up to level 8 right now, and then rolling 4 dashes is probably a fantastic idea. Linking over, no thank you, that's a little dangerous. This is useless for what I'm trying to do, that's useless. The range and true sight, I think we'll gladly accept that. We'll move over ever so slightly. Let's tuck Fury in here. Do something like this so that it's kind of boosting them. Actually, no. Back up ever so slightly, even more. Boost the Lynx. Level up one more time. Get the Flare on board. As we go up against I'm Red. Now, this has to be a little bit annoying here for Kieran, because that is an Exalted Monk here on the board there for them, which is just going to stall everything out really, really badly for their own game plan. And yeah, there we go. Now my Lynx is just that much more safe while doing its damage. Fantastic spot. Okay, speaking of Kieran, there they are. Okay, Furiox online. Some more Fury. Alfie will need you eventually. Flare, okay, we'll gladly accept you. Alfie once again. Not finding dashes per se, but that's okay. Can I turn this into the energy one? There it is. That's probably one of my favorite augments in the game currently. Good little catch here for my Lynx, finding 2 of those rogues, but it's a little bit of a battle of the burst damage, and it's actually going to be the Chakondi that does take me down. And to be fair, that was a basically perfect Chakondi. But the numbers game is going to help us big time. So even though my main carry did get taken out, Furiox and the rest of the squad were able to hold off Kieran for the time being. It definitely could have been problematic, but we'll live this time. This thing does have the rake now, it does look like. How many more rakes are here? Just the one rake? Okay, we do now have... We can do Invoker right now if we really wanted to. Can go Steam Invoker. I take you away, put you on instead, give you the attack damage. We do have Steam Invoker. Steam's not active right now because there's nobody to truly utilize it, but as soon as I get Dash online, or maybe even get up to Duelef, we'd be absolutely cooking. But it's the best that I can do for the time being without just completely spending on rolls. I mean, I still got a couple free ones anyway, but... Let's see. Something... So good. Synergy crate, what do we got? No water, but we could get another fire, potentially. That might be kind of brutal if I could actually find a dash and give it that. Resistance piercing, I like that, but at the same time, part of me likes the stun, because if I'm going to be in a situation where I'm up against Kieran at the end again, I need to shut down the monk here as often as I can, and the only way to really truly do that is just by auto-attacking. And yeah, sure enough, Kieran was actually just saving up a ton, waiting for Imred to go down, so fair enough. If I wait one more, wait for missing to end up falling here, we'll be in an absolute perfect scenario, so I'm not going to spend yet. Got basically everything where I want it. We'll make you fire temporarily, though, my little Sinelf. Up against Wrecking, which I believe is a bot, so I'm feeling nice and comfortable. Little C formation here so that a couple of these rogues get kind of pinched in and surrounded. And with every cast of that Water Blast plus my Ranger, they're both getting just that much more damage in regards to Omega Power. Unfortunately, the Aqua Blaster isn't the most, or isn't the fastest of weapons in terms of charging up its Omega. Shield, okay. I'm not worried about the hyper this game. A water imprint I will take, because this will get me directly up to 6. And missing is down, so let's go shopping. Fury. There's another dash. Monk here, you can go over there. And there is another dash. It's going to be a little bit too late here, but I'm going to put the rest of my credits to set up for a level into the next one. And it's time to switch up from the Lynx being one of the main carries to the dash being the carry. Or the Rake, rather, being the carry now. We can see it looks like my Lynx is just... its firepower is kind of petering out here now as we break into round number 20. So it's basically a perfect time to make the switch up. So dash is here. Let's make you fire with the restorating. And the energy damage based off of... or no. I kind of want you to snowball like crazy. Just something like that. Make that swap here. All of that looks good. Then we get the dash. Do we get Steam by chance? No, but we could get Harbinger. Could potentially be a thing. Up against Kieran this time by. They did manage to find the Exalted, so there's no point in me hanging on. And we get a few more casts here, not enough to actually sustain. So many low health bars, but not enough to actually get the job done. A little bit heartbreaking there, not gonna lie. But we know which units we want. It's just a matter of keeping them alive now. Maybe instead of snowballing, we'd do something along... I don't know, that's so much sustain-based for my Harbinger. Let's do this instead. Make you water instead. Start searching a little bit. Another dash. 2 of my carries. And we will have Scoriox for the next fight. This will add magma to the squad, which is quite nice. Okay, Z88 gonna get completely cleaned out here, no issues. Do they have anything? Some more rakes, actually. Gives me a better opportunity at scoring that Umber. Okay, and an NPC round, so need to really think here. What do I really even want to be doing? Let's might seem silly, but I'm going to actually sell off the links. I want Apon back in here because I want some big damage coming out from Scoriox. Gives me a bunch of credits. I have Harbinger, and I have the 1 water thing as well. Could go up to 8 water by getting an ebb in here. And then I think we start rolling a little bit. Ebb is good. There's Dualef. I make you a Harbinger. How's that work out for you? Ranger going here is going to give me some true sight, which is nice. We do then have additional attack damage, clumsy potentially as well. I'm just going to go for the raw damage in this instance, I think. Oh, it's not perfect. We're throwing it over to Dualef. Can we get some Omega Power? Go for Trinity Force. Here. I've got up to 8 water if I actually was fast enough to get the job done here, but we do have the 3 steam going currently. Extra credit is going to go towards level for the most part, but I do need to roll for Umber. Kieran actually got knocked out, so they're going to be out of here. It's just up to me and Anestus to finish the job here in this fight. And I got to do a little bit of a better job of paying attention. Scoriox is going to save me for at least a little bit. The true sight being on them is quite nice. But it seems like I am getting shut down basically by the back line itself. So, let's see if we can find Umber. There he is. That part is good. If I then level up to 10, that's now up to 7. Let's give the water augment to, let's say, my dear Singe. Do that. A little bit of extra tankiness from the holostasis reactor. Who's my tankiest of tanks? Don't necessarily have a very good tank now that I see this. Something like that with a final move onto the Umber to go right into the corner, right into the pits, where the Ranger, Furiox, and Sepphoris end up sitting. It's going to draw everybody in as well, making them get directly involved with that Dualef blast. It's a lot of damage here, and I do see that my Dualef's actually getting smoked by the other Sinolf, so I do need to make a reposition, because that is another big oversight. My Sinolf should not be dead right now, especially when I have options. Possible unkillable Umber scenario. Stun comes through. That's going to be a little bit annoying. Yep, can we get a couple kills, though? Good shot. 1 more Omega. We need a kill. We need a heal. There's a little heal. But we're on top of their verdant puddle, and it may be enough to keep them alive. This is very, very close. And the timer, overtime, is going to kill me. So this is 100% a positioning game. Scarabok, I need a better tank badly, I do feel like. But most of my tanks are water. To make that change. Okay. From here, not going to get enough. Do this instead. Hopefully, the water blast from the Sinolf is now only going into the flood instead. But my tank line, again, just got absolutely crushed, and my Dualef is still getting hit. I don't think I spaced it out well enough. Some good shots coming on through, but again, Dualef is dead. Oh, I waited a little bit too long. Another bad play with the Dualef. Just spread it out a little bit more. Taunt here going over and over again. Is this Colossus that's keeping my Umber completely locked up like this? It is, actually. What a play here from Anestus to make it so that my Umber just straight up cannot cast. GG's. Nicely done. Kicking myself for over and over and over again, letting Dualef just keep getting blasted like that. But we live and learn. Quickly going to reboot the game. 2 games have passed, so I always reboot after 2. But of course, thank you everybody for tuning in so far. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I don't know why my chat was behind. Oh, I didn't even see, sorry Texan, I didn't even see your message earlier saying, will you MMO later? That's not the plan today, unfortunately, no. I know it's what everybody's excited about. But at the same time, personally, I do want to start ranking up a little bit again. And at least this kind of progression here with the arena is something I'm going to be able to keep compared to the playtest where it's just going to be deleted at the end of the playtest anyway. I'm a little surprised and a little bit heartbroken that the playtest is ending so soon. I was just told via an announcement right before going live, actually, that playtest is going down on Sunday, which throws me for a loop because I was hoping to do playtests on Monday's stream. I had a little system going where I would have had playtest Mondays, This Week in Illuvium on Wednesdays, and then Arena on Fridays. But no, the playtest is actually going down already, so going to be missing my opportunity. But I'm overall happy with what I've experienced so far in the playtest anyway. If the weekend happens to be quiet or something along those lines, like maybe Saturday or something if it's quiet, maybe I'll do a bonus stream with MMO intentions, but I'm not going to promise that. And especially with MMOs, just hopping in for like an hour, you don't usually feel like you progress much. So I would need a good little sit-down session of at least 2 hours. Kieran tagged me in the Discord, but I don't know what they're saying. What? But no, this has been 2 good games where, again, my late game just seems to be, my decision making is definitely off as of right now. At least today, I don't know what it is. Do I need to just hydrate more? Is that the problem? Because I feel fuzzy. It should have clicked to me a lot sooner that my dual F was getting blasted in that last game. And then I'm talking all about my dual F, but at the same time, they weren't the ones truly like augmented to be the carry. And I couldn't tell you what happened to my Scoriox on either of those last fights. So I definitely have some perception and decision-making adjustments that I do need to make. But I also knew this would end up happening. Competition has gotten much harder over the last couple of days, especially. Like for the longest time, I might have even fell into some bad habits where I'm so used to being able to have essentially whatever composition I want and take very, very little damage because of playing it against so many bots. But especially as of late, we're finding more of these lobbies that have, say, 6, 7 people in them. A lot of the competition is much, much harder now. So to the point where I'm getting into these late game spots where I'm usually starting to feel very, very comfortable, I'm having a lot less health now than what I used to. Let's see, Sherlin's back in here, Bundaddy Ratty, Hector. Potentially a few others, we'll see momentarily. Starting at level 3 this game, alright. Okay. So let's see that again. This lobby here, is Zion drop somebody as well? Yes, they are. Zion drops is this one as well. Okay. So level 3 right off the rip. That up. That's not a bad start for a Scion-based build. Not a bad start at all, to be honest. Maybe even take Kuka. And then it throws me a bunch of attack augments, of course. Of course, I'll refrain from making any decisions until the weapon actually shows up. Hector here for round 1. That augment is basically a no-brainer, though, so I'll gladly accept that one. Do something like that, angle myself towards the cling, so hopefully even the Hera Blue is in range of the damage amplification from the Apon. Yeah, this will work out quite nicely. The fact that they have a cling already is so annoying, though. That already just stopped my Katopi's first cast. I don't think it would have made a difference, actually, overall. That was a lot of damage coming out of Hector's team. But still, quite nice. Weapon-wise, let's take a look and see what we got. So, Water Rogue, that's not going to be something I'm going to want. No thank you. Vinebound, no thank you. No thank you. Maybe we can work with that. Okay, I've got 2 picks. What do we have going on around the board? Sherlin's got bats. I do have to be quick because I don't want to be stuck with the Vinebound. Let's go for the Earthgrass Scepter. Let's go for something spellcasty. How many people are running something Earth-based? Nobody, it looks like. At least not off of weapon. We might not have a bad little setup here to start off this game. Okay, energy is potentially going to be nice. 10 extra energy, or restoring health, or get damage. I'm gonna try the energy just to get the extra casts off quicker. Let's take that attack damage augment and switch it for hopefully an Omega Power one. Poor little Alice got absolutely shredded. Bon Daddy Ratty gonna absolutely kill me. Look at this beautiful little level 60 baby Lynx that's basically perfect. Absolutely brutal. Beautiful to see, though. Heck, even their Archie's not too bad. Heck, even their Doka's good. Nicely done on the leveling and finding these good alluvials. Okay, HQ, though, is all level 1, so we should be good. We didn't get an Omega Power one, so I'm going to recycle it one more time. Let's tuck ourselves into the corner a little bit more. Atlas be the lead tank, but then Hero Blue be right behind. Kind of like a 5-sided dice, or the 5 on a dice kind of setup here for the time being. Cleans up quite nicely. So game plan for the time being, let's load up our tank line, and let's try to hopefully find some more Totofis. That'll definitely make things much faster if we could find that. I'm also not opposed to finding some more Kukas. We can potentially get some sort of enchanter going on early here. And optimally as well, I swap out Apon for Archos. Potentially. I don't see like any Archos at all on the field, so it's not like finding it would be difficult, I don't think. Would really love to be able to have all of my Omega Power augments for my Totofi essentially set off the rip. Sherlin really rushing that Lynx, holy smokes. That is a fast tier 3 Lynx. Zion Drop's never connected, or is connected, but is not currently playing, unfortunately, so one more player less to worry about as the time being. Is anybody else running Tianti or anything like that? I don't see any, so as it stands, everything looks clear for me to kind of get the build that I want. Watch out here for Boomer Mousepad, though. The Arcane Lynx, since I had everything all in the corner, and I was not specifically worried about positioning, might have cooked myself a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna end up losing this one. Yeah, that Arcane Lynx actually completely shredded me, even though it's a little level 1. That was humbling. Alright, level 5. There's Archie. Oh, but we're getting the 3 Earth buff currently. Something like this. Archie, come forth. Something along those lines. Something like that. A little bit of an accident, though. I did not remember about my level up, so Apon's just going to get thrown into the middle here for a second. Throwing my Atlas all the way up there. The main intention for that is just to kind of distract the Arcane Lynx for at least a little bit longer, to the point where they aren't getting a full lineup of my entire team. So by losing to the bot, it reminded me about how to deal with Sherlin, thankfully. And that actually ended up working out. Sherlin does pick up a TNT here as well. Now it'll be time to start looking for Totofis. Take the Kuka here as well. TNT, yes please. There we go. Level a few of these guys up. You go onto the field. Set you up something like this. HP to you, that looks good. Where art thou? Totofi. There's another. And we'll stay at max income. We're not in too bad of a spot as of this moment. Mud Harbinger isn't necessarily the most optimal as of right now, but at least we do get some sort of Harbinger. I could go for Granite Invoker if I really, really wanted to. If I had Kookaloo onto the field, which I might actually do. Oh, we got the potential to make the switch to Grass as well. Is Grass going to really help me any? I think they would. It's got the right augment as well. I think I'm actually going to go for it. Does now give me Toxic. Tofi. Can we find the rest of you? We are extremely close, but not quite going to be able to get it just yet. Make a quick switch to a Spore-style Enchanter build. See if that makes a change here. Because I don't have Caribou yet. Not looking like it's going to be the answer I was hoping for it to be. Might have been better off just staying Harbinger. Bugger. Sherlin doesn't have much in regards to credits left, and they only have one more Titofi on the bench, so trying to push for it should be doable. Invulnerability for a couple of seconds? Yes, please. Archie, Titofi. There's Kiradulo. And there is Sephoris. There we go. I'll get Invoker on there nice and quickly. Bring Archie back onto the field. Now it's time to push some levels. The fact that we got it so painlessly as well means that we're still with full economy. It's only round 12. We're in a very, very good spot. Where everything else can essentially just get, like I was saying, pushed into levels. Okay, Zion has made it now, so I'm glad to see that. Okay, let's level up. We can then get Kookaloo in here for some backup. This augment, Strike augment, interesting. Let's just go for the percent. Don't necessarily have somebody who can truly utilize it yet. Extra credit towards level. And I think we're in an alright spot. Zion all the way up to level 9 already. So they're absolutely flooding the board, but it's flooding the board with a lot of level 1s. Curious as to how this ends up working out here for them. It's definitely a bit of a Zerg rush of sorts. But I think just the overall power here of my squad is probably too much to deal with. Gonna absolutely be able to plow through, even though we're only level 6. I don't think their Illuvials were necessarily leveled in that instance as well. Hey, Hetty will gladly accept you. Fury will gladly accept you as well. In fact, make a quick switch. Give you some attack damage. Keep Sephoris with the Omega Power stuff. Hetty come forth. And in fact, maybe we could Wildfire Invoker this. How many Archoses are on the field right now? I'm kind of frustrated that I still just have an Archie. Any chance that we could scoop one? No? Unfortunate. On Daddy Ratty as well, having a Crunk, so trying to find Hetties is going to be a little bit annoying. And a very strong team off the rip, my goodness. Shredding for me. Competition is definitely tougher nowadays. Heck, even over the last month when there was no rewards, Bondaddy Ratty has already been tough to deal with. Same thing with Hector. But I imagine now with everybody else coming back as well, that they've had to step their game up as well. And they've leveled up plenty. Let's see, level up. Let's get the Scarabok for potentially another bulwark. Is there any chance? If I throw Kukulus out. There's the Archie. There we go. That got lucky. Very, very lucky. Should be able to take this one, I think. Yeah, we're crushing through these tanks like it's nobody's business. Good little stun as well as the icing on the cake. And chop on through quite nicely. Lots of grass though, lots of nature overall. Trying to find crunks are going to be annoying. So I might be better off just trying to level up a little bit, instead of trying to roll for my tank line. And with that being the case, makes Wildfire Invoker a little bit tougher to go for. I could go for Toxic Harbinger, but at the same time I want to have Invoker online. Boomer Mousepad took me out before, but I feel much more confident with the team that I have now. Especially if those few couple of seconds of invulnerability right off the rip. Yeah, look at that. Sephoris is just absolutely chunking, and this is why I wanted to have Invoker. Just to keep promoting this absolute dynamite Sephoris right now. And at least even Fury, even though Fury isn't necessarily an Invoker, and it's not very strong right now, at least it does get the percent base damage due to the augment. So we're alright in that regard. Who is buzzing me? Spam call. We'll level up to 8 and still be on completely full economy. Another Scion, we can get closer to that 5 Scion breakpoint where I don't have to worry about interrupts. Energy reduction. Let's get more Invoker casts that much faster now. I think I'm going to start trying to recycle some of these health augments. While I do want to have a very strong tank line, I don't necessarily want all of my augments to be dedicated to the tank line, if that makes sense. The Zion did end up dropping out of this one. Sherlin's got a couple of the Furioxes that I'm looking for. Maybe just wait a couple rounds before spending and then maybe go for a big one in a round or two. I'll replace Grocko with Kling as well, get that 4 nature buff. I mean, Grocko being on here as well does at least get me 3 Earth for a little bit more defenses, so it's not that it's bad by any means. Yeah, level up. We need to find Sinolf at some point here to get ourselves another Invoker. And figure out how the heck are we going to take care of Bondaddy Ratty, because they're also going to be going for Sinolfs at the same time, as a bit of additional support there alongside their Rake. Combat Rhythm is a nice pick. Fiend's Grid wouldn't be a bad idea either, but I think Combat Rhythm will be the way to go. There's a Sinolf, which is quite nice. And that can give me something more immediate in terms of a power spike as well. I can now change from Wildfire Invoker, which wasn't doing any Wildfire, to at least doing Toxic. Toxic Invoker. So I'm at least getting some sort of value now. Get some burst damage here, hopefully, but no, we end up getting the one over time. Pop one of these over. So HQ's gone, so there is a Crunk online now. Boomer Mousepad could potentially go down. As we go up against the ghost of Bondaddy Ratty, let's see where we stand now. My poor Alfie got absolutely destroyed. My entire team got absolutely destroyed. Okay, fair enough. That's a Rip Lance, that's an Umber, and a Sinnoh all for damage, so that is quite the team. Okay. Alfie's here. Let's level up one more time. As soon as we get Fury on board, that is now getting us up to 5 Scion. Range these accordingly, and then start to try to potentially level up a little, or not level up, but find some upgrades. Gonna go down to 50. Okay, Furiox is here. That's something. So it looks like we're doing a fantastic job versus Hector, but up against Bondaddy Ratty, I'm going to get absolutely murdered. But the thing is the likelihood of me just playing Hector over and over again is super, super slim. I bet right here, right now, if I'm lucky, I go up against Ghost Nugs. I do get to. Okay, that worked out. Pulling the Octius now definitely makes things interesting. I can do this. Swap those. Wildfire Invoker is now back. Potentially do that. Is there a PvE round coming? There is, actually. Because I need a moment where I can reposition my entire team. I don't like Furiox being in the position that it's in right now. I'd rather have it tucked in a little bit more to the left-hand side. And then kind of just stack tanks on the right hand instead. But at least versus these rogues here from Ghost Nugs, it did end up paying off quite nicely, so we're doing alright. And now we have the PvE round. Okay, so I said I was going to trade you in for Kling, so let's do that. Ranger over here. Furiox over there. Let's spread them out a little bit. There is a Sinnoh that we do have to worry about. And it would end up looking something close to this. I'll spread these guys out ever so slightly. But it's a little bit better. But at least I have 2 lives left. I don't think I die yet. Okay. Burning, potentially. Give that to you. Shield crates. Shield based off of resistances. Do something along these lines. Can I squeak my ranger in there? Not as of this moment. Do something like this so that it's not getting smoked by a Sinnoh. Where is the Sinnoh as of this moment? Something like that. I'm only not rolling yet as of this moment because I don't think that I die right now. And if there is a chance that Hector gets eliminated on this play, it does up my chance for Scoriox. Is that going to be enough to save me the game? Honestly, versus this team, I don't think so. But I'm giving myself my best chance, I think. If this does kill me, then it was a misplay. It does not, so we're good. Does Hector win, though? Because they'd be either playing my Ghost or Bondaddy Ratty if they're Playing my ghost, I hope they end up winning, or hope they end up losing, rather. Can't really tell. They do end up going down. Okay. So now we level. And we start searching. I should have grabbed the cling. That was a mistake. That's huge. Aphisto online. I'm going to move my big time damage over to Aphisto. Do something like this here. I have one more spot available. That's going to be able to make it, it looks like. Thing is, having another Sinolf means I technically have another Invoker. Let's see if this does end up working out. The reposition on Bondaddy Ratty, though, means this is not going to actually go into my Aphisto, so that part's good. We do get the reset. We're getting some damage. We've got the 4 Invokers. I mean, we gave it a shot, but there is just too many good Illuvials here on the side of Bondaddy Ratty, so that is going to absolutely shred us. GG's. Wait. Now, I'm in a bit of an odd spot here. I do have something I have to attend to essentially directly at 12. If I start another game now, I don't think I'm going to be able to make that in time, so bear with me for just a moment. I think I've already done my Illuvium 0 for the day as well. There's a chance maybe we do have to kind of call this one short. I do have to get some blood work done. I can't miss that appointment. Does look like we'll have to close things up a little bit earlier than normal here today. But I do thank everybody for tuning in nonetheless. Sorry to cut it ever so slightly short, but again, having a little bit of a blood work appointment is going to make it kind of critical. I do need to get to that on time. In regards to a schedule for next week, I'm in a little bit of a loop. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to be able to do. We're going to have This Week in Illuvium on Wednesday, of course, as we do every week. But as for Monday and Friday, I'm not 100% sure as to what we're going to end up doing yet. If you're interested, if you have me followed on X or subscribed on YouTube, Twitch, what have you, I do post the schedule there once I do have it secured and locked in. And I'll try to think of something fun that we can do, because I don't want it to just be all Arena, but in terms of strictly gameplay stuff, Arena is basically all I can do right now, that and Illuvium 0. So we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna be doing my best, of course, but at the same time, I'm doing this because I'm having fun doing so. If it gets to a point where it doesn't feel fun, might have to slow things down. Or, of course, my actual job, if that does end up getting in the way, schedule might need to get adjusted ever so slightly. But I am still having fun. I do look forward to climbing here in the arena. And don't get me wrong, I'm still having fun with the arena. But if it's the only thing we're doing day after day, I can see a world where maybe that could get tiresome to both viewer and streamer alike. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll do our best. But at the end of the day, that is going to still be a 10 a.m. my time, 3 p.m. UTC stream for next Monday. But for now, we shall call it a day. So again, big thank you to everybody for tuning in. I will catch you on Monday.